Hello and welcome to the Team Uninkables podcast. My name is Corwin, and I am joined with my fantastic teammates.
What's up? Charlie here.
Hey, I'm Mitch.
Thanks, guys. And it's excellent to have you both here. It's been about a week since CCS. Been trying to get everyone together for this time to hang out and chat a little bit about your time and experience. And really excited to hear about it because a lot happens. And just first off, I want to congratulate you both on your excellent runs. You guys were on fire this past weekend. It was crazy. I was at home coming home from work, hearing all the great news. I was so excited, pumped, and screaming like a football fan. and and I just want to pick your brains a little bit, both of you, because I find like y'all's experience and dedication to the game to be very valuable for our community. And I just want to bring this to everyone as a opportunity for people to listen and just learn maybe a thing or two about y'all and CCS and how maybe to get into big tournaments like this 25K that we just had. And yeah, I'm just gonna start you guys off. Let's get down to business. Start
Let's
with
do it.
Charlie here. Uh, Going into this tournament, you know, what expectations did you have for yourself? Like, walk us through a little bit through that experience for the CCS 25K.
Yeah, didn't really have a whole lot of expectations, being that it was my first CCS, but nevertheless, it was my first large tournament. The only other one that I played in of like a decent caliber was a local tournament in Raleigh held by Unplugged Games, which was around like a 70-person tournament. So being that we were at 480, I think 482, some that count was I was like, well, okay, this is never have experienced anything like this before. I knew the caliber of player was going to be a lot different than what we've experienced here on a local level. So I just went in with just like, just have some fun. Let's play the game of Lorcana, which I've fallen in love with, and that we all here on the team have fallen in love with. And let's just see what happens. And honestly, I got into Atlanta. I came in with my family, got to see team members. I sat down at the table, had some water. I'm like, let's again win, lose, what happens. It's all to get better at the game. And when you walk out of day one, 5-1-1 with your one loss being against Zan, a top world player, it's a great feeling. It's a great feeling to know that hey, I'm actually kind of good at this game. Not as
Yeah.
good as Mitch, but maybe one day. So I'll let him talk about his top eight experience.
Sure, sure. Yeah, so my expectations going in. So this was advertised as kind of a circuit of one of four tournaments, 25Ks each,
Hmm.
to earn qualifying points to like a private invitation for a 50K, next year. And so for me, I just wanted to walk away with some points. I know that 450 players and good players is hard to make the cut. It's very very hard, statistically unlikely, right?
Hmm.
We know that if Charlie goes into a tournament, he's going to end up in the top eight. There's no question about that. That's just what happens. If I go into a tournament, I'm either top eight or bottom eight. You never know what you're going to get with me. And so Charlie's is a great show. I've been to CCS before. It was a great time. I've had my ups and my downs there based on what deck I'm bringing and then how kind of janky I want to be or consistent I want to be. And so yeah, I kind of was expecting to go to Atlanta with my team, have some fun at a great show, play some games of Lorcana, maybe get some qualifying points, and was really excited to see what the new meta was going to be like and kind of how that goes because I don't really get to practice as much as I'd like to. And so a lot of it for me was just kind of having some fun with it, if that makes sense.
Oh, totally. I very much have the same kind of experience as you both. Last season I went for the first time. I got to meet some of my favorite Lorcana Lumineers out there and a bunch of familiar faces. And I had the same kind of attitude as you guys, just gonna go there, play, and see how well I do. And if I win, I win. If I don't, I don't. And it was a fantastic weekend. But along with that, let's start kind of getting into some of the nitty gritty bits since we've now kind of gotten the vibe of what CCS is. I know you guys brought two different deck lists. Our team's pretty diverse, and we're all pretty well rounded as a group of players. And Charlie, I know you brought a pretty interesting deck list. It's been popping up here and there. There's different versions of it all over the place. Could you kind of walk me through maybe a quick little deck tech of Purple Steel, the one that you brought to CCS?
Yeah. So I have notoriously played Amethyst, a lot of Amethyst since becoming a Lorcana player. So coming into a rotation heavy with evasives, it just felt right to play a version of an Amethyst deck. So with that, I did test Emerald Amethyst, I did test Steel Amethyst, and I did test Purple. Um, so I kind of went through the ringer of those three. Unfortunately, my favorite being Emerald Amethyst just didn't feel like we were still feel like we missed something, and I truly feel like if they had reprinted Kit Cloud Kicker, that there may have been a shot there for green.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, it came down to the two. Spent a lot of time with Amethyst Steel because I liked for me as a player, I'm more of a mid-range player, and so I appreciated the fact that I was really playing on curve, which I like. I like playing characters on turn one, turn two, turn three, turn four, um, and then on Blurple, I just felt like, okay, yeah, we're shooting we're basically skipping turns essentially to get to our big boys and the Hades and the Elsas, and I just didn't like that. It came down to it just didn't feel right. There was a sense of like I just don't feel good playing it. And again, I wanted to come into this tournament where I wasn't gonna lose because of what I was playing. I was gonna lose because they just outplayed me. My competitor outplayed me, and so that's why I chose Purple Steel. Is that reason why I came down to that? And then it was working with our fellow teammate Paul, just kind of jumping the ideas back and forth with each other about what felt right, what didn't. I tested illusions. I tested Jafar stuff. I really did. I spent a lot of time testing Purple Steel, and it came down to really that Paul and I felt like the more evasive characters, the better. So that's why we ran with Happies and we ran with the Jafars on two. We ran with the Genies on three, which I truly felt was the MVP of the whole thing. I mean, and we did have the Madam Mims on two as well with the +1 Challenger, which I thought also was a great card. But the fact of the matter is, a 3/4, and I know Mitch can attest to something having a 4 of strength. Again, there might be another card in his deck that has that 4 defense that might be good. So I just knew that this deck was going to be sustainable. I ran into in my nine, not nine matches. I ran into 5 blue purple players, 5 of them, and I finished 4 wins and a 1 draw. So like I said, it felt like Paul and I truly accomplished and again, he had a different record against blue purple, but what we wanted to accomplish was we wanted to beat the meta, and I felt like we did that. You know,
I think
my
so.
my 2 losses in the whole round were one against Zan playing blue green, which he just outplayed me, and then my last loss was in round 9, which was make or break for me and my opponent. One of us was getting in, and the other one was getting out, and we were playing almost identical decks. he just happened to go into 4 Strength of the Raging Fire, and I didn't. So,
Uh,
after it's all said and done, again, I truly appreciated the purple steel consistency of being able to play on 1, 2, and 3, and good cards that were going to stick to the board. Um, and to see that purple steel ended up being the top 2, it's a good deck, and it felt good. So yeah.
just to kind of pick your brain at that a little bit further. So you did have some interesting cards in here. So like you did mention like Happy, Jafar, and Manamim. You know, trying to keep up your evasives as much as possible. Um, in this list, is there really anything you would change going forward? Like if you went to CCS tomorrow, like is there anything like you would do differently, or would you just run this again? You think?
Yeah, it's tough to say because I mean you could probably ask that to every single one of those players, even the player that won Thiago, even he that won. He's probably gonna be like, yeah, I'd change this card, right? Because it's just the nature of the game. We have to continue to change and continue to evolve. So after the fact of thinking about it, yeah, honestly, I didn't feel like the Lilos were necessary for me. Being that we're already getting a little bit of a pump from the Madam Mims, and then we did have 2 of the 3-drop Jafars, which gave that same Lilo effect just to a singular character. Because I felt that way because it's not like there was a lot. We weren't really going wide. Or we were going wide, but not our opponents weren't really going wide with us. So I didn't feel like Lilo was doing a whole lot. And being that she was just a 2/2 quest for 1, I just didn't feel that good. Now, if we had other aliens on board, maybe it's different. But the fact of the matter is, her ETB effect just wasn't that great to me. So I really feel like cutting her, and I've thought about maybe I've thought about adding 2 Pete's, just because to mess up the mirror a little bit. Again, yeah, and we're in the meta we're in. We don't see a whole lot of songs or actions, but if you think about it, those 2 Pete's like that can if I'm on on the draw and they're trying to again against the mirror, if they're trying to strength me on their turn 4, but I had played a Pete beforehand, it's again it may mess that up. On the flip side, if I'm going against Zan and his green blue deck, which was crazy. I mean, but he was playing Your Welcomes left and right. He was playing Under the
Mhm.
Seas and all things like that. It's just another card to disrupt. It's almost to me, Pete kind of felt like it's not something you need 4 of. It's the same way I feel about Green Ursula. Like it's not again in this meta that we're in right now. It's not a card you need 4 of, but it's still a disruptor. There are the songs and actions are still being played, not to again, not to an ability to where we need 4 of those cards anymore.
Mhm.
But again, it's still a disruptor, and at the very least, you're getting a 3/3 Pete. I mean, can't be mad about that. It's better than a 2/2 Lilo.
Yeah, I mean it's the same cost and same questing power. You might as well get a +1/+1 stat line on it. And honestly, I think Pete is severely underplayed right now, considering like yeah, like you said, green blue folds to Pete. Like if you were running 4X, I would be very scared to go against purple steel with my green blue. And
Yep.
honestly, even just the mirrors, the strength of raging fires, I'm starting to see fire decans coming back around like a lot. Like even Mitch's deck, you
Yep.
know, I'm seeing that come up too, even more. We'll get to that in just a minute, but yeah, I think Pete like is gonna probably make a comeback, and yeah,
Yeah.
you really kind of pointed that out. It's really good.
Yeah.
Um,
That's really the only. I Paul and I we talked about illusions and what Tiago played, which I think is another great deck. Honestly, I've played it. I've played a lot of it, and I still kind of like what Paul and I were playing. To be honest, I get it. I understand like the Treasure Guardian 3/3, and you possibly get to draw a card, but I don't know. I felt like we had the draw power, we had the docks, everything like that. Again, who's to say? I didn't win the CCS, but so in conclusion, yeah, there's probably 2 cards I would change. It'd be the Lilos. also thought about Jasmine. I was playing a little bit of Jasmine. She did
Oh,
feel good, but God, it kind of sucked because she goes on 5, and then potentially you're looking at a purple player who's on 7, and then she gets Hades. So it's good card. It's a great card, but you hate to see that thing get put into the inkwell if you player. So again, I like kind of sticking to the basically in the 1 to 4 ink range and having some the Elses and the Bells and the 5s, and that's it. So yeah, it's a good deck. I still like it.
yeah.
Would play it today. Again,
And,
I played it today.
yeah, and honestly, Purple Seal is just a very cool deck because, like you said, like you had a completely different list than Thiago, I believe
Mhm.
is how he's pronounced. Um, and I've seen like other bills too. Like I've seen a couple like Scar bills. I've seen uh like full on evasives. Just all kinds of stuff, man. And like Lilo and aliens, like what's his name? The first mate guy, Mr. Arrow.
Sure.
Like Mr. Arrow, like you're more like aggressive purple steel. Yeah, I mean it's just I think that's kind of like the meta like I've seen with Fabled is like there's a lot of variations of the deck. Like I know you and I talked a bit about Purple Seal like in our like training sessions and stuff, and you were trying anything and everything, and it kind of came down to like just more like it wasn't like, oh, this card is a good choice and this one's a bad choice. It was more just like, okay, well, this card is more for this kind of purple steel and this card is for that kind of purple steel, like you were kind of getting at earlier. And I think that's why personally in my opinion, like your deck is probably like arguably the best deck in the meta right now, just because there's so many different ways to play it and they're all very consistent. Um,
Yeah.
but
It,
I think,
it, it,
yeah, a great run with it.
yeah, I mean, and like that was the other thing is that it felt good against purple. It felt good against aggro. Was could have been it was challenging. I tested against blue green, and it was a challenging matchup if they got to their stuff. But I was like, how much blue green am I actually going to see? Again, I did see it one time, and I lost to it, but that was it. And the rest of the decks I played were a variation of an aggro deck in blue purple and the mirror one time. But like that, so again, the deck did exactly what I wanted to do. So
All right. So, Mitch, you made top 8 with Amber Steel. So,
You hate to see it.
spoiler alert, yeah. Spoiler alert, Steel's like probably like our favorite color in the team, except for me. I'm a purple, red guy, like traditionally. But '07 to my bounce control decks. But Mitch, dude, killed it. You made top 8. You were there. You were just going for some points. That's all you asked for. You just wanted points, and here you are making top 8, bro. How?
and an
What?
invite to the 50K.
I
Yeah, and
know
the invite. That was
that
crazy, bro.
that was the cherry on top. Yeah. Um, I may have mentioned earlier, like I didn't get enough time as I wanted to practice.
Mm-hmm.
I am traditionally an Amber Steel aggro player. I'm coming up close to 1 year playing the game. I started when Azurite Sea came out. My first event was a sealed event for that set, and I kind of quickly discovered the Diggy Hole list. Made some tweaks with kind of John Silver and location. We kind of
Your boy.
saw how that found a lot of success for me, and so I have the Amber Steel aggro lines baked into my blood and my bones, and so I can kind of play that with my eyes closed. Right, I've been playing that almost a year. I do dabble a little bit with the polar opposite of the end. I really like heavy control, red, blue, and the big Sisus and Maleficents and all that stuff was every if I wasn't playing, I was testing around with that kind of stuff because I really like that. And so yeah, coming into this meta, what I heard a lot from the team was that we should expect to see Blurple, should expect to see purple steel, and you would probably be. It would not be wise to bring amber steel because everyone is teching for it. And they are. You see all of these cards, all of the purple one drops, for example. You have your Rafikis, Royal Guards, even that Palace card, right? So that turn 2, or then on the steel side, you have, Captain Hooks, right? On the blue side, we have Basil, right? And then, you have Hypnotic Strength on turn 2, and or Madam. You have all of these ways to get a lot of attack power on the board fast, right? And so that's just how you gobble up whatever Amber Steel is doing on their end of the board, putting out their little weenies, turning sideways and saying, come get me, right? And so I pretty much convinced myself I'm not going to look at Amber. And so I didn't. I really didn't look at much. When a new set comes out, I like to cook in the kitchen for a while and just play garbage and top of garbage on top of garbage. Just having fun with the new cards and finding interesting lines. And then after a couple weeks, I'm back on my bullshit with that Amber Steel, right? And so I played some jank and quickly, confirmed what I already knew, that anything I'm testing is not worthwhile. And about a week before the tournament, a blue steel list started popping up. We got Allies, we got Scar, we got Shift Jasmine. I was like, I like this. I like this. It has a little bit of the aggro lines that I'm used to. Leans a little more mid range. I really like the draw power of Scar. I'm used to my Rapunzels just feeding me everything that I need, but we don't have something to replace that, right? So I really liked the look of this. But again, I didn't have enough time to really test. So like I said, I was kind of just going into this weekend expecting to have some fun. Well, the car ride down, my teammate Cam from Unplugged Games, shout out Unplugged.
Yep,
Guys.
Unplugged Games.
I knew I was going to be in the card with Cam and his brother, and who's a very competitive player. He's very good at mid range and heavy control decks. And Cam was
I
hype
love
on
watching
Purple
the
Steel
red blue.
too, and we've been sharing Purple Steel lists. And he was talking about Mob Song, and I said I don't know about Mob
Oh my
Song.
god.
And so then we get in the car, and Cam's like, I haven't got to practice. But we played a few games this morning with his brother, and Mob Song was winning the matchups, and his brother Preston was like, this card might be something. So we sat in the back of Cam's 4-door sedan from probably 1896, where the lights don't even work. And it's super cramped back there, and we're going around turns. Half the time we're just holding our cards to make sure they're in place. It's pitch blackout, so one of our phones is propped out with the
Yep.
spotlight on, and we're repping in the back seat, right? Blue steel, blue steel, blue steel. I'm dropping Mob Songs all over his Dumbos and almost winning games like you wouldn't believe. And so we were hype on the Mob Song, and we were just having fun, right? Really, really the goal. Even though I got to test a little bit, Cam didn't get to test at all, and so I kind of wanted to test his list for him, knowing it'll help me figure out a version of Blue Steel that I'm actually going to bring. And so yeah, it was probably 4 hours of Blue Steel against Purple against Blurple, and then Preston goes, "Well, we should see how this does against Amber Steel." And I said, "Well, I was told not to play Amber Steel, but if you're saying it's good, let's see. And plus, we got to test it, right?" And by turn 5, I'm scooping, and I'm like, dang, like Daisy, Nala, Tiana, Lady, Mr. Arrow, Penny, like what's going on? What are you supposed to do against all that? And so we in that one game, I said, all right, maybe I'll all that to say is, we do our 6-hour trip. We get into Atlanta like 1 a.m. and we connect with the team. We're talking about Mob Song, so all the serious players are going to sleep. And then we did a few more reps, and Blue Steel was not feeling good for me. And so the team went to bed. It's maybe 4:30, 5:30 for me. I asked Paul, before you go to sleep, send me an Amber Steel list. And I looked at what he got. I didn't like it. It wasn't really entirely my style, and so made some tweaks. And I said, this is mostly cards I'm familiar with. 0 reps, I'm gonna pull it up tomorrow, play the list, and see how it goes, right? And so yeah, my first rep with the deck was Saturday morning. My round one opponent. I got swept, lost both games against Blurple, and figured, okay, maybe I'll get 5 points this weekend, right? I'm here to have fun. I kind of set the tone for like, I don't care what happens. But then it just did what it's supposed to do, right? I didn't win a lot of dice rolls, but I only saw the mirror match or Blurple. And I feel confident against Blurple. I don't think I played a Blurple where I won the dice roll, but I was able to get under them and fast. I would hard mulligan for Fire the Cannons, for Daisies, and just find ways to stop those Rafikis, stop those Royal Guards, prevent the turn 4 Elephant, develop my board, and just turn sideways, right? Daisy was probably the MVP. There were certainly games that I would not have won if Daisy isn't pitching Hypnotic Strength to the bottom of the deck, Into the Unknown to the bottom of the deck, Hypnotic Strength to the bottom of the deck, right? Just sending their answers to the bottom back to back to back. And so she was good to me, right? She's both giving me the speed that I need to cross the finish line while making sure they don't. So with any TCG, luck is involved. You know, we have a dice roll in this where we have a randomized deck of cards, and depending on what's sitting on top could make or break your match, right? But it felt good. It felt like it can do the things that I'm used to it doing, of going wide, going fast, having a few answers. Yeah, so I ran 4 Strength of the Raging Fire and 2 Fire the Cannons. I would often keep those if I saw them in my opening hand, knowing that if I can remove something early, I can develop my Tiana, and she's gonna protect the rest. And it did. Tiana won me a lot of games. I didn't think Tiana was necessary, but there were plenty of circumstances where she won me my games. And
Pretty good.
and yeah, if it wasn't Blurple or the Amber Steel Mirror, I played one yellow blue deck that had I don't think I could describe this deck to you, but it seemed
Was it
cool.
like
But
the princess thing I've seen around the Queen
no,
Censor
what's
Sport?
that 2-drop on Inkable where it has the kind of bare necessities effect and it inks
Ludwig?
itself?
Ludwig.
Oh,
Ludwig.
Ludwig. I love
Ludwig, and
him.
then
He's so
yeah,
good, dude.
it had the Robin Hood 6-drop 4/4 evasive draw. So it had some good
Okay.
tools, and they did take a game off of me, but
But you didn't
and
know that Harry's list.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a cool list though. Like I've seen, some of our teammates calling out the Iceman. Yep, yep. He's shot a list of that, and yeah, they're all pretty interesting. And yeah, Ludwig is always like the card. Like that's what makes the color combo do its thing.
You look at it and say, I'm building a deck around this, and you better believe me. In that
Yeah.
janky week or two, I was building some yellow blue, right?
Yep.
So
That's interesting though. I like that. So kind of getting into your list a little bit. Um so Daisy, she was the lady of the week, right? Like I mean she was your MVP. I mean, she's been your MVP since set 5. Um is there anyone else or anything else in the deck that you would say like, yeah, this card, this was it for me? Like if I didn't see this, like I don't know what I would do. Like is it like Rhino, for example? Like I remember before the set came out, we were all worried about Rhino. Haven't heard much about Rhino.
yeah, it's a
How
good
many
question
cards
because
are for you?
yeah, toward the end, before rotation, if I saw one of the pieces of Rhino, the little one or the big one, I'm
Mhm.
holding one card and sending 6 back because I want to find that other piece. It was that good. It was that integral.
Yeah.
And going into these matchups, I never wanted to play it and there were times where the 1-drop felt more important than the 4-drop, because there are times where, like, okay, I need to quest one more time before I can kind of, before they're gonna start taking away with it. If I could drop that Calhoun down one attack, this Daisy is gonna survive against Calhoun. Like, and it's gonna buy me one more turn, one more,
Mhm.
and there were times where just getting a Rhino plus whatever, came out with him, whether it was a Lawrence or maybe it was Lady Rhino, Little Rhino, something. But late game was the only time I wanted to see Big Rhino. But anytime I opened with Shift Rhino, I don't remember winning those games. And so he was one of the cards that was my first consideration for, leaving this tournament, and wondering its purpose, and wondering its utility, if it's really as valuable as we thought it was, as it definitely was toward the end of last season.
Oh yeah, he was
I
very
think
good before.
I think it stays in favor of some other stuff that I think I would cut first. And so, kind of to answer your question, like, fire the cannons was necessary. And so I was running 2. I need 4. I need 4 of those. They're too good. There's
Yeah.
such little removal, and it's
Mhm.
difficult because the list is sitting on 18 uninkables. So we don't want to go up to 20 uninkables, because that is just absolutely wild.
But
But
it's fine.
Team Uninkables can make it work. But the deck just needs to worry about its first 2 turns. And by turn 3, you're going to find the ink that you needed. You're going to find the 3-drop you needed, or the 2 1-drop to follow. Like, so the whole tournament, I was not, I'm looking at my opening hand. I'm not past turn 2. I'm just, do I have what I need for the first 2 turns? Yes. Keep everything. No. Pitch a card or 2 and just make sure I have ink. Make sure I have a strong opener. Maybe one of my tools of Fire the Cannons, or Strength of Raging Fire. And the way the deck is built, I'm gonna find whatever else I need on top of that deck, so I don't need to worry. And that's kind of how it works. It's the deck gets a lot of, a lot of folks talk down about aggro, especially Ambersteel aggro, and part of it is justifiable. I would say part of it is justifiable. The deck has the capacity to play itself. But
Yeah.
I will always argue that there are very specific lines and very specific nuances that you can do with the deck to set yourself up for success. And the number one being, some folks just turn sideways every turn, and you just cannot do that, and you have to know when and why to do that or to not do that. But there are certainly some nuances, especially now being a challenge heavy meta. You develop Tiana first, and then you go sideways, right? Or you'll quest with your Daisy, really expecting to lose them, but knowing you're gonna get 4 lore out of them, and maybe send one of their cards to the bottom, right? And so yeah, I think it needs the extra 2 fire the cannons. I had 3 Plutos. I would have wanted the 4th. There was a lot of times where I was wishing I had a Pluto. Sven is one of my favorite cards. It's been an MVP for me for a long time. It was okay to good in this list, and so I think I had 3 of them that I would say that that's too much. I would drop it down to 2 or 1. Another, and really the other 2 cards on my radar is 3-drop John Silver. Target opposing character cannot challenge, because again, that helps you just eke out one more turn of questing before you can develop the Tiana, or just put too much pressure on the board. If turn 3 they're dropping him in Elephant, and your turn 3 you're dropping John Silver, they're usually staring. They usually just have that one character on the board, so you could turn whatever else you have sideways, right? And so I think that card is important. And there was one other card. Yeah, so a lot of the other lists. So I played a 2-drop Jin Deer 0/4 Bodyguard, quest for 1.
I like him a lot.
Super hard to get through with Tiana, right? But it's really just there to protect Nalas, to protect Daisies. It's great to Tiana into Lady Jim Deer, because Lady just needs 2 drops to come out. I saw a lot of people playing the, I don't know if Prince Philip or 2-drop 0/5 bodyguard, but he's uninkable. And so that's the other card I have on my radar. But heck, we can go 24 uninkables, right? Let's worry about that.
Just
We'll
half the
see.
deck, 50% of the deck is just uninkables.
Yeah.
Kind of a
My last
just because
note.
I know you well. Oh, go ahead.
I will say the list is good. I am
Mhm.
convinced Purple Steel is better. I think it has more tools to do what you need to do in the current meta. I think it's more versatile against what's out there and can accomplish something similar to what Imbecile Aggro is doing. I think it has more reliable card draw, and so that's probably the list I would around with next. But we'll see.
Yeah, just to kind of bounce on that for a second. Like, I think that's kind of one of the cool things with like kind of what the meta is shaped up right now. We have the Blurple, we got the Purple Seal, and we got the Amber Seal aggro. I kind of like it because it's very like defined. Like if you're new to this game, this is actually a very good entry point for players because like there are 3 definitive decks right now. I mean, there's other decks to play obviously, but these are very like iconic roles in a TCG. Like we got Mitch over here playing Amber Seal aggro. He is the fastest deck you could be playing pretty much right now, and that is his specialty. Now, Charlie, you're right here. You're like kind of in the middle. You like to kind of go be able to pivot game to game with your playstyle, be a little more aggressive on this matchup, a little bit more controlling on this matchup. And that's kind of one of the strong aspects of Purple Seal. And then we got stuff like Blurple, which, one of our MVPs, the Iceman, he's always played blue purple, and that deck is known for it being a slower controlling deck. And what's cool is right now, I think Ravensburger did a really good job with the overall balancing of set 5 through 9. Kind of like obviously they like if you look back from sets 5 through 8, you can kind of tell that they were setting up for set 9 Fabled. Because like a lot of the stuff that was super powerful before is now kind of like gone, and now we are kind of playing this more like grounded, challenge heavy meta, but it's also got like these neat tools. Like we still got Strength of Raging Fire. Your aggro deck, you're saying, hey, I need to have Fire to cannons just to kind of interact with my opponent still. So even the hyper aggro deck still wants to interact with their opponent at times. That's kind of cool. I like that a lot. I think that's very valuable information because, like you said earlier, Mitch, especially for aggro players, it's not autopilot. Like it's really not. I've played some aggro before, and I'll be honest, I'll play control decks, and I'll be like, oh man, all these aggro decks, like always like knocking me out by turn 5. You know what? I'm gonna play it. It's gonna be super easy, and I get humbled. And but it's a valuable lesson though to go on the other side of that table or swap the decks around. It's a very good perspective. Not to keep yapping, but it's definitely something for anyone that's listening. Try the different archetypes out, try the different decks. If you're playing Purple Seal, try out Amber Seal. It's not that big of a jump, but it gives you a little bit more perspective on the meta. But Mitch, do want to ask you a little bit more on this list. I had one question for you because I do, I know you pretty decently well here as one of my teammates and one of my pals here. One of the things you're known for, you kind of touched on this a little bit, is when you started in set 5. I remember this because you wrecked like everybody when you came into this game. You're known for your locations. You're kind of Mr. Free Real Estate. Would you ever consider, or did you consider, because I know you like Jim Deere, did you ever consider Sleepy the knight that with the same stats and Diggy Diggy Hole? Like, was that on your radar at all for this
I
meta?
did, I did. I built some lists that had the real estate, had the dwarves, had the knights, right? Had daddy landlord,
I knew it.
you know, and so I didn't get to test them out as much. I
Okay.
also ruled them out before testing them because I don't think it was strong enough. There is too much high challenging characters in the meta right now early. Captain Hook, Royal Guard, Calhoun's out there. Anything is a
Mhm.
target to hypnotic strength, to Lilo, to Jafar buff. You know, Shift Rhino is still out there and coming out early, and so if we're dropping a location, it's not gonna last long.
It's not gonna
Or
last
at
long.
least
Yeah.
that's what my fear has been. Haven't tested it, so we will.
I'm about to say we might now. I'm about to say I'll probably see you in our play testing channel after this, right?
Can locations sing mob song? We'll see. We'll have to find a way.
So with that, I want to kind of step away from the deck list now and talk about more with you guys about everything else in the meta. Like, you guys, what do you think of Fabled? I kind of just gave my own opinion of Fabled right now. I think it's great, but that's just me. You guys went to CCS. You guys got to see like almost 500 people play this game. Um, what were your opinions and like what are your opinions of the Fable meta right now? Like, what does it feel like for you?
Yeah, I think it's it's I like it a lot. There are things there. We'll start with the likes, the pros. We'll start with the pros. I think it's really fun. I think they did a great job with the reprints. I'm happy to see some cards not be reprinted. Ariel, and I had to see some other cards not be reprinted, such as Friends on the Other Side. But nevertheless, I think it's a fun time right now for Lorcana. I think it almost revitalized the community. It's easy to get back in right now. There's these iconics, there's epics. Again, it created a freshness, and I also got to play an event at Game Theory here locally. It was a sealed event. Oh, it was so much fun. I mean, I was like, oh, these cards there's so much synergy in just be able to alone, just the set alone. There's so much synergies. I mean, to be able to shift Mulan, shift Elsa, shift Stitch, it was awesome. It felt so good. Um, so in that respect, Fable is awesome. It's fun opening the packs. I mean, you can't go to a Target or Walmart and like, it's like gone almost. Like so, I mean, clearly this has definitely revitalized the fun of opening Lorcana. On a competitive side, it's still very much enjoyable. I wish we had some of the other colors feels a little bit lackluster, being green a little bit behind the eight ball, red a little bit behind, so it even some you could say even yellow a little bit maybe. But like so it feels like we've kind of as we've talked about here tonight, it feels like the meta is really to me you got the cream of the crop of Purple Steel and Blurple, and then probably the next tier being Amber Steel Aggro and Blue Green, and then there's not really a whole lot else. I mean, I think there's a lot of people trying to see if we can get Green Steel, or see if we can get Green Purple, or seeing if we can get Red Green or Red Purple, as as one of our other teammates have played. I think there's a lot of people trying to figure it out. Quite frankly, I don't know if we get any more diverse in the meta. But I think we've laid a great foundation for this phase two, if you will, to when Whispers comes around. I think it's gonna be awesome. I think the meta will be so diverse and it's gonna be great. So I guess in all speaking, I think there's a lot to be excited about in Lorcana right now. So yeah.
So excited.
Yeah, I have to echo a lot of the sentiments there. The immediate impact is opening these packs, right? Especially from someone who we have all the cards, right? All the reprints, we have them all. And when it was first announced, and it was like, oh, maybe 25% is going to be reprints. I'm like, oh, not bad. And then I hear 50% is going to be reprints. Oh, I don't know. And then I hear like 66% is going to be reprints. Oh, there's no point in buying this set. But then you see like what Charlie mentioned, what they did with the additional rarities, right? With Epics Iconics, there's more alt arts, and the art is fantastic, right? The enchanteds, the epics, like they did a really great job. And so the value of opening a pack, the collectability of the game, of a collectible card game, feels a lot more collectible now, right? And that's
Yeah.
half of the fun, right? And so they've done a phenomenal job with I am both seeing what I was expecting to see was a very quick establishment of a rock, paper, scissors meta with not a
Yeah.
lot of variance. I barely saw anything other than rock, paper, or scissors out there, right? And you were disincentivized to bring anything less, because that's all you're really going to see in the top 16, barring some what Green was able to accomplish, right? And so I am both wished that I saw more, but I will say I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful because it's early, right? There's
Yeah.
still time for new archetypes to be realized, for to be tested on a big stage and get a spotlight where it can then be brought to more tournaments, right? Because there's probably good decks out there, but if they don't perform, people won't see them, and if people won't see them, they won't become part of the meta. And if they're not part of the meta, we don't have to play around it. And if it's so good that it knocks purple steel out of the meta, but it doesn't make it to the meta, then we're stuck with, there's this impact that could still potentially happen. And so I'm hoping for it, especially because you sit down and your opponent plays TikTok, and you're like, damn, well,
The boy
shit,
TikTok.
I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
But when you first saw TikTok, you're like, that's garbage. It's unplayable, right? Second star to the right, this, what a cool card, entirely unplayable. It'll never see play. And now everyone's popping it off and just reaping the rewards. And so I think we're slowly going to find, needles in the haystack here that have always been here. These kind of diamonds in the rough, but they haven't had their time to shine yet, right? And so I'm hopeful we're going to see a little bit more. I don't think we're going to see too much, but I'm hopefully we see one or two more archetypes enter the chat and make some noise and kind of ruffle some feathers and give us some. And I hope that's the case, because I think it'll become a little more fun that way.
One more question on this topic. You just said that you think there might be one or two more decks that might enter the chat. What would be your guess? We'll start with you, Mitch, since you brought it up.
I think Green's gonna do something, right? We've seen it already pop up. We've seen it do well. It has some history, right? Green has been a staple for a lot of kind of meta decks. Green steel and green purple accomplished a lot with discard, but it wasn't just because of discard, right? That was a phenomenal tool that it had, but I think things like Under the Sea, right? And so we're seeing that deck put up numbers, right? And so once we refine those lists a little bit, yeah, I think green blue is probably gonna be the one.
It's like that's number 4.
Yeah, but that would be more closer to what I were to project something new to come out. Ketchup mustard, dude. I'm saying it now. Give me some red, yellow.
Mustard,
I don't
yeah.
know what it's gonna look like. I don't know what's gonna be,
I've seen
and
a
I'm not
couple
confident
lists.
about it, but I want it.
Yeah, I've
I'd
seen a
love to
couple
see
lists. They're
red,
pretty
yellow.
fast.
You get like power. They teased us with power line. What a cool card! Like what the shift line, the multiple targets for it, right? It can sing well. There's a
Yeah.
rush option if you want, and then that thing comes down and it's singing big and it's singing another one. Like So yeah, I want to see that work. So I want to see red somewhere, and we'll see
Yeah.
what happens.
Charlie, what do you think, bud? I know you're a fan of green, so like
Uh,
I'm sure it's gonna be
yeah,
in there somewhere.
it's for me. It's got to be green something. Green something. And I played against two green yellow players. One of which was Diego, a top 12 worlds competitor.
Yeah.
Um, with the Chromicons. I think Chromicon's a dangerous card. Dangerous. Uh, so
I don't
I think it's got to be green. I'm not gonna lie to you. Since I've been back from CCS, I've actually play tested Green Steel. Since I've been back, and there's some
yeah.
playability there. I don't know if it's cracked yet, quite bit, but again, whether it be green yellow with a little bit more aggro flavors and the dogs and the chromicons and in that standpoint and the go mago is a nasty card, especially since we're dropping these large cards such as elephants and bells and elsas and and hades that can take a lot of damage, and all of a sudden you get go for 4. I mean, so
That's
I've
kind
got to.
of brutal.
I mean, Green still got a lot of good cards in it. It's just that it changed so much that I just don't think people have had, as Mitch was kind of saying, have had the time to develop it. So I wouldn't be surprised if we start to see some green yellow, green steel, maybe some green purple. I would, and this is also, Mitch said ketchup mustard, so I'll take mine with. I'll go in that same direction of. I would love nothing more to see Christmas pop up. I mean, I would love
Yeah.
nothing more. I'm a big fan of Max Goof and Powerline. I would love it for that deck to just to blare out some songs. Um, but I think if you ask me today, what are we gonna see next be in like a top 8? I think it's something like a green yellow or possibly a green steel.
He wants
Okay.
that ketchup relish. I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
I do
The
I do
relish.
like a little sweetness. I do like a little sweetness.
Yeah, I mean I remember actually one of Mitch's opponents, Tiff, we all tend to play at Gamers Armory, and I know she came by, was trying out like a green yellow list. I didn't know what it was at the time, like I hadn't seen it before, but yeah, I actually thought that might have a shot because I saw green yellow kind of wrecking Blurple like a fair amount. I was genuinely surprised, and I'm sad I can't call it Turner Dogs anymore because we don't have Turner Bog. That's one card I do miss. um, but yeah, I do think there's something there with the dogs.
Mhm.
Like the ladies and all the like the puppies and stuff. I don't know.
For sure.
But yeah, and like you said earlier, Green Steel. Yeah, I think Green Steel's got some legs to it too, especially with you still have um the Pete pirate captain,
Mhm.
right? The big shift one.
I
And
do.
you were just saying earlier we need Pete back because Pete's needs to stop some of these actions from going off. So maybe that's his window, like that. Maybe that's Green Steel's window. I don't know.
Yeah, it's funny because on the green steel standpoint, like again, I think all of us, well, maybe not so Mitch, who just likes to play little tiny guys. Most of us like card draw. You all love card draw. Mitch just keeps docs just hidden in his sleeve that end up coming out. But all no, not all of us are that lucky to just cash out with docs. But so green steel, I think it's a matter of finding that card draw. Where are we drawing cards? We don't have a genie to come in and draw a card. We don't have a Dumbo to tap and draw a card. You know, so where else? And yeah, the dock is there, but I think you need that second source. I think every deck needs that second source of card draw, and to me, that's Clarabelle in Green Steel. So, seeing it in green blue, going, you're playing the 1 drops, but you're also playing the 3 drops as well now. So you're doubling up, and that makes it very hard for someone to get rid of. Yeah, yeah. Maybe it's not so hard to get rid of 1. It's very hard to get rid of 2. And then all of a sudden we're shifting and we're catching up on card draw. So it's a big body as well. So that's why I think there is a line with green steel. In green purple. Again, Clarabelle's there in green, and we have genies in purple. So it's just a matter of, do we have the other pieces? I think the card drop is there, but do we have the other pieces?
Last thing, and then we're gonna sign off. Starting with you, Charlie. Just personal reflections over this past weekend. What are like some important things like going into a big tournament like a 25K? Like what did you how did you prepare yourself going into this? Like I know you said earlier about like you kind of just went in with that mentality of like I'm gonna either win or I'm gonna not gonna win, and it's gonna be fine either way to me. And that to me personally is kind of encouraging because that's kind of how I went in last season, and I had a great time anyway. But y'all performed very well, and like how do you go about such a long weekend doing that? Like, how did you prepare for that?
Yeah, I think it goes back to just that I'm playing this game because I love the game. I'm not playing the game to. Yeah, would it be nice to have won $7,000 or $1,000 like Mitch? Yeah. Everybody likes money. But at the end of the day, I love the game. I love the game of Lorcana. That's why I'm playing. That's why I started out playing locals. I mean, I look before this, all I played was casual Commander Magic. That's all I played. So to come in
Yeah.
this, competitive world of Lorcana, it's been fun and to enjoy it with some of my teammates, you, Corwin, Mitch, and some of the other guys. As we just saw a picture flash across the screen there. Yeah, it's just been fun. The community that we have here in Raleigh, and so again, like I said, and also I think the one thing that makes Lorcana special, and I felt it too, is that I shouldn't say it, but most of my opponents, like, we had a good time together. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. I won most of them. So, I had a little bit better time than they did. But at the end of the day, like, I got to know somebody new. Again, yeah, we're both, we were both competing. We both wanted to win, but we both just enjoyed the game and had fun. And again, I think that's what has attracted me more and more to the game and to the experience. So, going in again, as I said, going into the match or going into Saturday, I was probably that was the most calm that I've been in for a tournament in a while, and I just yeah the first game showed up, and I played a good player from Florida, and it was but then like I was a little nervous, but then after I got to talking to him like as we were playing, I'm like, oh, it's just like casual Arcana. This is like just like playing the game. And then after you get your first like game out of your way, you're like, oh, okay, now let me just do what I know best and play my cards. Play my cards. And then the day went on, and I just like I said, I felt good until I got to round three and I saw Zan peer across my who I was playing against. I'm like, okay, well, all the good feelings just went out the window, but I got I lost that match, but I got over it, and just because like again, I was there for the experience, the fun of it all, hang out with my teammates, hang out with my family, being in Atlanta. It's just a good time. It's just fun. And I 100%, I can't wait to go back. I don't know if I'm hoping it's December. I don't know if it will be, but I can't wait to play in that. I can't wait to play I can't wait for the DLCs to happen. Again, I think that just to put a cherry on all of this, just that Lorcana is a great card game, and the area that we have here, the community we have here, especially here in Raleigh, we've got CCS coming here and in October, which is so exciting. Eh, It's just fun right now. It's just fun. It's just a fun game. I'm enjoying it. Can't wait to kick Mitch's butt next time I play him. Love
That's easy. Everybody does
it.
that.
No, I love it. It's all love here, and I can't appreciate that more because that's what I can. That's why my wife was like, why do you keep going hanging out with these guys? And I was like, I just just like hanging out with them. They're just fun. Like, and again, I think that's what's great about Lorcana is that we're all just here to have fun. It's Disney. Like, it's just Disney. It's not, not some crazy people beating up each other. It's just Disney characters just waving their wands around like that. I mean, come on, like that's it. So yeah, I would say this. I guess on my lasting note here, so I'll say this to anybody in our community that don't be afraid of the spotlight. It's whether it be a 10-person event or a 500-person event, the people are the same for the most part. For the most part, most of the people you meet at these events are the same. They're there just to have a good time, play a game that they love and enjoy, and meet some new people.
I fully agree with that, man. That's honestly beautiful mindset to have, and yeah, honestly, especially for our community, like me, Mitch, and all of Team Uninkables, Unplugged Games. We try as best we can to actually put the spotlight on the community, like all of our local players and stuff. So like, yeah, guys, listen, don't be afraid to be in the spotlight because we're trying to bring it to y'all. um,
Literally.
yeah, literally. Um, Mitch, hey man, you made top 8. You know, how? Like, what was that locking in moment? What was the mindset? What did you do? Your personal reflections on, going to this tournament and when you were leaving. Like, walk us through this a little bit.
Sure,
Walk through
sure,
the
yeah. You know, kind of some common themes that we've alluded to a little bit throughout the conversation tonight is there we're all human, right? And so there are those who, I suffer from social anxiety. I can be a very person, and I put every effort I can to try and be outgoing and get ahead of that to try and combat those anxieties. But like I can walk into a room of 450 people who from all different kinds of circles and in crowds and kind of feel like I don't belong or whatever. And there's something so valuable about having your team there with you and just having that immediate and that is something that's so special and important of having your people, your support system with you. And so that is a huge component to kind of approaching an event like this with a little bit of just support and sense of belonging. And so that's just something I shout out to you guys and the rest of the crowd of just like being excited that I'm there, being enthusiastic for what I'm trying to accomplish. And yeah, like someone on my team could not be having a bad day, but if I'm having a good day, they're happy, like they're not just there for themselves and I'm not just there for myself. And that's such an important element of what the value that I get from this team that empowers me to kind of perform in events like this and get ahead of some of those anxieties. But and really the other theme kind of that we talked about a little bit is kind of these elements of imposter syndrome, right? We go to these tournaments and there are names that we've been mentioning everyone recognizes, right? We've mentioned Zan Saeed, and I was sitting next to Ed, the DLC winner from I think California, Anaheim or something. And I'm sitting in a room of people who everyone in the game knows, and quite frankly, like no one knows who the heck I am, right? In comparison, and so naturally, I could and should feel like, do I even belong here, right? Do I have a chance here, right? Do any of us have a chance here? Why did we just spend so much money, so much time, travel so distance? And so we kind of can walk into these events oh, with those anxieties kind of playing against us, right? And like I even said, like I lost my first round and kind of I counted myself out, right, mentally. Said, I'll just maybe I'll get 100th and walk away with some points, right? Because how the heck am I going to come back from this? But something that I've realized having done this event twice now, and having made top 8 twice now. The first one wasn't on day one. It was the second day event that I did make top 8. Something that I realized is two things are true. I am far from the best player in that room. I am a good player. I will be the first to say that I am not a great player, and I'm okay with that. I have growth to do. I don't play the game as much as others. I don't study the game as much as others. I don't know the lines that other players are considering. I don't know their lists. I don't know what they should be expecting me to do, and all of these sorts of things. And there are levels above me that those players can always outperform me, right? Because they have more skill, they have more talent, and that is evident. And those people are in the room, and you will pair up against those people who objectively on paper are better than you. And something else I've learned is that you can still beat them, right? Like you don't have to be a great player to be in this room. You don't have to be top tier to belong at the table, right? There are elements of randomness that can help level the field. But if you are a good player, that is good enough. You are good enough. Don't be afraid to go into these events. Give it a shot. Play a deck you're familiar with. Don't think you have to try and surprise people or something. Just if you're good, bring a good deck, show up, play your opponents, and you can make it, or you can at least end up with a winning record or somewhere that you can be proud of yourself, and it's going to help get ahead of those anxieties, and it's going to help empower you the next time. And so yeah, I would just encourage people to not be afraid of these events. They're fun. If you can go with a group of people, find your people, you're going to have a good time, have a support system around you, and just give it a shot. You don't have to be the best player in the world to make top cut. You just got to be good. And so yeah, that's kind of what I noticed going to these events twice. Yeah, after 9 rounds, seeing myself as the 1 seed is something that I never would have guessed, never would have expected. But we got there, right? And you better believe I misplayed my way up to the top because this was not a perfect run. It just wasn't. Every match, I'm going back and talking to teammates. I'm like, you saw when I did that? And they're like, yep. That's the line that we practiced this morning, and we said, watch out for this. And I said, I will watch out for that, and walk right into it. And so I don't know. You don't have to be perfect is kind of what I'm trying to say. Have faith in yourself. Go there to have some fun, and just don't think you don't belong there, because you do.
I fully agree with that. That is, we do run into that scenario of like, oh, do I belong here? Like, I've been there. Yeah, when I went to CCS the first time in Return to Jafar, I kind of had that same like kind of, I guess, kind of similar, like kind of like I was pretty timid. I would say, like, I was pretty timid going in, but I I had like kind of the same experience. I just kind of walked in, decided I'm not worried about necessarily winning or losing. I'm going to do my best, play as best I can, but I'm going to have a good time. And CCS was a great time. It was a good time. It was a great time. And I felt totally welcome. I was meeting people that, like, I watched, all these YouTube videos and whatnot. And I remember running into Liam from Lumineers, and it was kind of wild because just to share one experience that I had personally, just to prove this point, kind of like what Mitch, you were saying, like, I wasn't expecting, anyone to know who I am. I, didn't think anything of it. There's all these big people here. And I walked up to Liam just to, shake his hand and say hello and, encourage him. He was, about to do the Worlds stream. And I just wanted to say, hey, man, I appreciate everything you do. And just, good luck. And you got this, right? Wasn't expecting anything. And he knew this. he knew what this was. And he was like, hey, can I get a picture of you and anyone else real quick? I was like, I feel like in my head, I'm thinking, like, is this like supposed to be reversed? This is but but I felt so welcome. Like, I mean, I was already feeling like welcome. I was having a great time, but like that, like locked it. I was like, dude, this is like the best experience in Lorcana I've ever had. Like, this was so cool. Like, and yeah, if you ever get to go to CCS or like any big event like this, like please go. And like Bitch said, try and have like that support group. Like, it doesn't have to be like a team like we're doing. Just like a few of your friends, like get a hotel room or Airbnb or something. Go hang out for the weekend. Maybe go out and get a dinner or something afterwards. Like we tend to do that. Just kind of chill out after the tournament and have fun. And that's like my favorite part. Not just because of the food, just actually just to hang out with my friends. That's awesome. It's just fun. It's great. But anyway, guys, those were wonderful tips. Wonderful mindsets to have going into any event like this. I just want to sign us off. But first, remember, we are sponsored by Unplugged Games. Wonderful people. I love them dearly. They're fantastic people, and they do have a great service of selling card singles, Magic, and Lorcana, and they sell them at 90% of TCG player prices, and that's pretty darn awesome. And their stock updates pretty much by the day. I mean, their cards are coming and going all the time. Every time I go on there, there's something new and something I thought about. Oh, I actually picked this up, and I didn't. It's gone. So be quick in there. They come and go pretty fast. Yeah, just want to sign us all off of the Uninkables podcast. My name is Corwin, and I'm here with.
Hey, again,
We
great
did
to
it
talk to
Yeah,
you.
thanks.
Oh,
Thanks
hey,
again for having us.
Yeah.
All right, awesome guys. I will see you guys next time. Not in the inkwell. Happy gaming.
Later, y'all.